Hello, my name is Jamie and welcome back to the channel. Unlike any other channel that showcases Pokemon Go PvP content, my channel exclusively showcases Shadow Pokemon. So if you're into that type of content, I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. So, let's get into today's video. In today's video, we will be taking a look at Shadow Shiftry. Shadow Shiftry is slightly XL at level 44. It doesn't have the best PvP IVs, it's actually a 15, 15, 12. It was the best one I had without frustration. It was one I caught at GoFest long before XLs were released. If you were looking to invest in Shadow Shiftry, I would recommend getting a lower attack as it's so squishy, so any extra bulk you can get would be greatly appreciated. So today's team, we're going to be running our Shadow Snorlax, Shadow Swampert core. We're going to have Shadow Swampert in the lead with Mudshot, Hydro Cannon, Earthquake. We're going to have the big thick boy himself, the safe switch as always, our trusty Shadow Snorlax running Lick, Body Slam and Superpower. And then in the back we're going to have our Shadow Shiftry as the closer. My Shiftry is running Snarl, Leaf Blade and Foul Play. Shiftry has some great play against the meta, obviously can hit Giratina and Cress for super effective. Also one-shot Swampert. However, it is quite squishy and a Moonblast does almost one-shot her. Also Dragon Claws and Giratina, they're not the most hard-hitting move usually, but after 2 we are getting quite deep into the red. Other things we need to watch out for, obviously Charm. Charm absolutely shreds us, so does Counter. But we do manage to go on a fairly decent run with this team, so without any further ado, let's get straight into the battles. So moving on into our first matchup, let's see what lead we get here. We got our Swampert into Giratina, obviously not the best in matchups. We're going to build up to 5 and look to catch on our Snorlax. Catch is unsuccessful, they bring in Registeel. Registeel can throw the Focus Blast, however it doesn't one-shot, so we are going to no-shield. They do throw the Focus Blast, so they're not baiting, however we're going to look to land the back-to-back Superpower. We're going to see what the opponent wants to do here. First Superpower coming through, opponent shields. We're going to get off this next Superpower, even debuff this still should do around 40%. The opponent doesn't actually throw, we'll get to a third Superpower, so they wisely throw. We're going to let it go down, this is fine for us. We're going to bring back in our Swampert. We're going to build up energy on our Swampert and we're going to look to throw the Hydro Cannon just before they reach the Flash Cannon, which is now. The opponent actually makes a great switch back into their Giratina. So this is now Shadow Shiftry time. Bring in our Shiftry, managed to get a Snarl through, which is great. Like I said earlier, these Dragon Claws really do add up. Does around 33% of our health. Second one coming through, and we're already deep into the yellow. We're now actually in the red already. But this Foul Play, if it goes unshielded, will do a lot of damage. Opponent actually shields, so now I'm wondering what they've got in the back. This is perhaps the triple legendary line of Giratina, Cress and Reggie that is quite common. We shield this up and we will outpace him to this next Foul Play. This Foul Play is going to be more than enough to KO and we're going to see what the opponent brings back in. Opponent's waiting out their switch timer and they bring in Reggie. So we make an immediate swap into Cresselia. As we expected, it is the triple legendary line. However, Swampert is so far ahead in energy, we should be alright in this matchup. Opponent is going to look to go to the back-to-back Grass Knots. They're going to need 12 Psycho Cuts. Second Hydro Cannon gets him quite low. The next one will almost take him out. Opponent's getting really low. The opponent throws their energy. They're actually only at 10. But what we're going to do is we're going to let it go. One Snarl is going to take out the Cresselia. Reggie's got a move. We'll shield this up. One more Snarl and this Foul Play is going to be enough to close out this first game. So our Shadow Shiftry straight away coming in clutch there. GG's to the opponent. So moving on into this next battle. We see a Defense Deoxys. This has obviously been a hot topic, especially on Twitter, about whether people are cheating to obtain these Pokemon. However, it is what it is, so getting back into it. Opponent's building up a lot of energy. I expect them to go for a back-to-back Psycho boost. Deoxys is an absolute monster. It tanks these Hydro Cannons actually even better than Cresselia does. We land 2. They haven't thrown. We're looking to snipe with our Snorlax. We don't want to take any damage on our Swampert as we might need it for later. Opponent meets us with a Swampert of their own. Charge move coming through. We're not going to shield any of this because obviously we've got a great answer from the back in our Shiftry. Opponent should have probably thrown before we got to the back-to-back, but that's fine. Opponent now has to shield, so we're going to let our Snorlax go down and we're going to leave shield advantage for our Shiftry. We're going to wait out our switch timer and we're going to look to bring in this Shiftry. Opponent's building up quite a lot of energy. They've gone past the Hydro Cannon, so they're obviously looking to fake the Sludge Wave, but we're just going to Leaf Blade them and get rid of them, and we'll see what the opponent brings in. In the back, they've got a Registeel. These foul plays actually do really hurt Reggie. See there, it does around 33%. Obviously, their Focus Blast will one-shot. We look to catch it on Swampert. Let's see if we've caught a Flash Cannon. They do throw the Focus Blast, which is fine for us. We're now in a position where we're going to let this first one through, see what moves that they're running. Here's a Rock Slide. We'll shield this next one up. We unfortunately get baited with a Psycho Boost. We managed to snarl down. And now our Shiftry so far had an energy. We're going to go straight foul play. We'll see what the opponent wants to do. Opponent doesn't shield, so we're now in a position now where Leaf Blade is going to be enough to take him out. We're going to shield up this next move. We're at the back-to-back, so we throw the first Leaf Blade. This is going to get the shield. And as a nice flex, we're just going to go for the overkill with the foul play. So GG's to that opponent. So already in the first two battles, Shadow Shiftry as a closer has been clutch. Moving on into this next game. And we see a Charmer, not just any Charmer, the most oppressive of them all, other than Shadow Gardevoir, is Gramble with its high attack stat. We look to get to the 7 Mudshots to try and deny the charm. So Hydro Cannon coming through. You can already see we're so deep into the yellow. Again, we're looking to deny a charm. This second Hydro Cannon I expect to go unshielded, which it does. I'm going to look to snipe with Snorlax. Opponent is super quick on the swap. So this opponent knows what they're doing and they actually meet us with a Registeel. You saw in the last match, we can tank these Focus Blasts. We're not going to shield. Snorlax actually wins this battle in the 0 shield, going straight superpower. So first superpower coming through. We're going to get that additional lick damage just so they're in superpower range. We'll see if the opponent wants to give up their last shield. They do not. Superpower takes them out. One charm takes out Snorlax. We're now in a tough spot. Shiftry does not want any of this Gramble. So we're going to have to try and come in and mudshot it down. We're unsuccessful. We get a Snarl through, so if we shield this up, perhaps we're going to have to take one charm. The opponent switches out into Giratina, and you're going to see me really misplay this matchup. So like I do in my PvP tips and tricks videos, you're going to see where I went wrong here. Foul play comes through, which is fine. We land that, so now we only need, they're probably in Leaf Blade range with the additional Snarl damage. You're going to see me build up to the back-to-back. We get a Snarl through, which is great. So we can shield this up. I should go for the back-to-back when I get it, which is here. I can see the Giratina's health getting super low. So I look to try and snarl down. I realise they're about to reach the move, so I try and hit it, but we're actually desynced with moves, so they're going to win the CMP, and that's going to take us out. What I should have done is just take it out, as I think we had enough to survive one charm anyway. But GG's to the opponent, we can't win them all. So in this next game, we've got a Cresselia lead. We look to catch the Grass Knot on 6, opponent doesn't throw. They build up a lot of additional energy and we met with a Venusaur. Venusaur does beat Snorlax, however, they have switched in quite late, so we've got a chance to flip this. We're not going to shield. These Frenzy Plants do hurt, but from a non-shadow we do survive with a lot of HP. We throw just before they get to their next Frenzy Plant, so now the opponent is going to have to shield if they'd like to keep their Venusaur alive. They do shield. Opponent's getting really greedy. They're actually now going to have to double shield. They've obviously miscounted or forgot our energy. We get both shields. They're now getting really low on HP, so they've got scared and thrown. They are at the back-to-back though, so we're going to let this go through. We're going to wait out a switch timer and bring in Shiftry. They throw immediately, so I know it's going to be a Frenzy Plant. And look at that, Frenzy Plant does almost half our health. We're in the yellow. Absolutely crazy for a resisted move. See what the opponent brings in. Opponent brings back in the Cresselia. We're going to shield this up. And in the back, they've got a Melmetal. So we're going to switch back into our Swampert. This should be a superpower, which is fine. We're going to build up to close to 100 energy. which is here. Throw the Earthquake, which is going to be more than enough to take out Melmetal. And Swampert's still super healthy. Cresselia obviously cannot Psycho Cut us down. It's going to have to throw its energy, which is going to spam out these Hydro Cannons. And the opponent sees the writing on the wall and back out. GG's to the opponent. So moving on into this next battle. We actually pick up our first really positive lead of the set. Talonflame. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. Build up to 3 Incinerates. We throw just before their Incinerate finishes. I believe Talonflame wins CMP. We get the first shield. Opponent's now at 4. We fire off another Hydro Cannon. Opponent has double shielded. The fact they're throwing 4, I'm going to call the bait. This is a Flame Charge. I know this next one's going to be a Flame Charge, but boosted it is going to hurt, so we are going to shield it up. The opponent actually switches out into a Bomber Snow. We don't have a great answer for this, so I'm going to bank my Hydro Cannon and switch into Snorlax. Snorlax can hit a Bomber Snow with Superpower, but unfortunately it doesn't one-shot. Snorlax does actually lose this matchup as a Bomber Snow is super spammy. I'm going to look to get this body Superpower off just before they get to their next Weather Ball. This should get them really low. I'm going to save my shield for Shiftry, and you're going to see a bit of a strange player, and I'm going to talk through it now. So we're going to come in with Shiftry, shield once and snarl down. So we're going to have to shield this move up. We're now loaded on energy. One more snarl will take the Bomber Snow out, and you can see we've got the Leaf Blade. I expect them to come back in with Talonflame. This Talonflame's dry on energy, so if they threw the Incinerate like they did there, I knew they'd be stuck in the animation. I could swap to Swampert and take it out with a Hydro Cannon. In the back, they've got a Swampert of their own. So you can see there, the 5-turn move, such a long move. I waited for them to throw the Incinerate and immediately swap to Swampert, as they're unable to switch out. And that is what's essentially won us this game. And that's a GG's to the opponent. So we went 4-1 in that first set, a lot of quite sweaty games. And moving into this next one, we pick up another negative lead. Articuno will win this in even shield scenarios. We're timing our charge moves to deny the extra Ice Shard. Hydro Cannon comes through. The opponent is quite wise here. You do not have to shield if you're an Articuno. Any Hydro Cannons from Swampert. You just have to match shields. You will win in even shielding scenarios. Fire off this next Hydro Cannon. Again, because it's debuffed, this will not KO. But the opponent is going to have to throw us energy. We're only one mudshot short of the next Hydro Cannon. Swampert's done its job. We're going to have to let it go down. We're going to look to come and lick down with our Snorlax. 4. We managed to lick them down just one Ice Shard short, which is great for us. And they actually bring in a Lapras. So Articuno and Lapras, this can only mean one thing. When you see Articuno and Lapras together, this is definitely the Oxford U Double Ice Giratina line. Shout out Oxford U. So what we're going to do, we're going to have to stay in because these Ice Shards from a Shadow Lapras are absolutely going to shred our Shiftry. So we're going to bait here with a Body Slam. We're going to use one shield here and we're going to look to land this Superpower. So the opponent's going to have to give us the last shield or this Lapras is going to get taken out. We take out the Lapras, we're going to instantly swap. And there is the Giratina. Like we said, this is the Oxford U Double Ice line. So if you play Open Ultra, you should look for patterns. If you see 2 ice types, you know it's going to be a Giratina in the back as the anti-steal. And we know it's going to be on Shadow Claw, which is great for us. We're going to fire off a Leaf Blade here because they're so low, they're going to have to shield this up, which they do. Charge move coming through. We're going to allow this to go down. And we're going to be able to lick down with our big boy Snorlax. They will get to a move. Saved our shield. Shield this up. And a couple of licks is going to be enough to take them out long before they make the next Dragon Claw. 1, 2. They're 3 short. So that's GG's to the opponent. So moving on into this next battle, we have our Shadow Swampert lead into another Cresselia. So another really negative lead. We're going to look to try and catch on 6. Again, the opponent doesn't throw. You can see all these previous legends are obviously far too smart for this play. The opponent does throw their energy there, which is a bit of a mistake, and they bring in a Lapras. So this is a fairly neutral matchup. Obviously, a lot does depend on whether we can land the Superpower, but we can't obviously KO him from this range, so we're just going to go Body Slam spam until it gets a bit lower. Opponent throws a Surf. We are now getting quite low. We're going to fire the super power just as they reach the next surf. Opponent doesn't shield and they're looking to try and commit to the farm down. However, big boy Snorlax comes in clutch. We can now flip this opening matchup. We've got the opportunity now to put our Shiftry on this Cresselia. Shield up this Moonblast. And the opponent actually backs out. I've got absolutely no idea what they could have in the back. Perhaps it's Registeel or something really weak to Swampert. But either way, GG's to the opponent. So moving on into this next battle. Yet another absolutely terrible lead. We see a Venusaur. We instantly swap into our Snorlax. And the Venusaur is staying in. I'm not going to shield this up because that would obviously reveal that we're super weak to this thing. The opponent now switches into Talonflame. So we're going to fire off this Body Slam. Obviously you always want to time your charge moves to not let an Incinerate through. So we managed to get to another Body Slam. This gets the Talonflame quite low. Charge move coming through. I'm in a tough spot. And neither of my Pokemon particularly want to see this Venusaur. So I'm going to look to try and mudshot down this Talonflame before it makes a move and instantly swap into our Shiftry. So our Swampert's now got a bit of energy. You can see me spamming the swap. Opponent's staying in. I'm holding my energy. I expect this to be the Sludge Bomb, so we will put up a shield. And now we'll see if our loaded Shiftry can beat whatever's in the back. In the back's an Alolan Muck. So unfortunately this is a GG. As both my charge moves hit for resisted, whereas obviously Muck can hit us with super effective. There's absolutely nothing we can do. We are spamming out the Leaf Blades. If I wasn't intending to put this into a video for everyone on YouTube, then obviously I would have top lefted, but we are going to soldier on. But there is no win con really at this time. Perhaps if they bait in and they let us snarl down. If they don't bait, we're going to look to Mudshot down. We don't manage to do that either. The Muck survives on 1 HP, so we get hard countered and we don't even manage to get any fortunate circumstances. Perhaps if we could have managed to Mudshot down, 3 Hydro Cannons might have been enough. But that additional damage from the Dark Pulse does mean that this is going to be a GG. You can't win them all. Well played to the opponent. Moving on into this next battle. Let's hope for a bit of a better lead, as we've not won many leads with our Swampert, and that trait looks to continue here. So we've got a Gyarados, so we build up, look to catch the Aqua Tail, which we do here. Doesn't do much to our Thick Boy. The opponent is staying in, they're going to get off another Aqua Tail. I'm expecting them to want to switch out as soon as I throw my energy, so I'm holding my energy. But the opponent is still staying in. We get a lovely bit of go battle lag. We miss a few turns. So I do have to spam the Body Slam and we're dropping frames, hence only get a great. So it's all going wrong at this point. But it must have been a bit of mutual lag, as the opponent obviously thought I got them licks and was at another Body Slam. So that's great for us. We're now going to look to come in with Shiftry and snarl down, as we know that both charge moves will be resisted. But you're going to see here, look how much damage it takes from a resisted Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is a pretty poor move, but we're already deep in the yellow. We are loaded on energy. In comes Melmetal. Shiftry Melmetal is a pretty neutral matchup, especially this far ahead in energy. You can see it's only going to take 2 foul plays to get rid of them. Opponent makes a good swap, as I did look to snipe it with Swampert, and there's a Giratina. So we're going to build up to the Earthquake, and we're going to fire off these Hydro Cannons. Shadow Swampert can actually beat Giratina going straight Hydro Cannons. It's such a great move. There's no real need to throw the Earthquake. However, this time I will go for the Earthquake, as I either want the opponent's last shield or want to take him out. See what the opponent wants to do. Opponent shields again. This now puts our Shadow Shiftry in a great position to close out this match. We switch out into our Shiftry. Foul play coming through. They just survive with 1 HP. However, they haven't got a move, so we're going to shield up this Rock Slide. Foul play is going to take out the Melmetal. And 1 Snarl is going to take out the Giratina. So yet again, the closer Shadow Shiftry coming in clutch. GG's to the opponent. Moving on into this next battle. We might have an Umbreon. Swampert actually does beat Umbreon in even shielding scenarios. I'm not sure about the regular one, but I've played this matchup a lot with the Shadow. So I'm going to fire off this Hydro Cannon. You can actually throw one Hydro Cannon, one Earthquake, and then the Umbreon will be low enough to mudshot down. Which is a good tip in case you are a Shadow Swampert user. Charge move coming through. We're not going to shield this. We're going to outpace him with this Hydro Cannon. You can go 3 Hydro Cannons, or you can go 1 Earthquake and 1 Hydro Cannon. You see here we outpace him to this next move, and we've got a little tiny bit of residual energy for this next whatever comes in. We bring in a Talonflame. As Incinerate's such a slow move, we only have to survive one. This second one will take us out. We manage to get the Hydro Cannon and take the shield. So we're going to bring in our big boy Snorlax, as obviously Shiftry really doesn't want to see this. Opponent, I'll call the Flame Charge here, save our 2 shields, which is great. We fire this off just before they get to their next Flame Charge. See what the opponent wants to do. The opponent's actually committed all of their shields. So we are going to shield this next Flame Charge up, so we need to get this Body Slam damage. Our Shiftry really don't want to see these boosted Incinerators, it will go absolutely shred them. Body Slam coming through, gets them quite low. I've got a tough decision to make. I'm going to have to commit to the lick down here, which we managed to do. We bank a Body Slam and you can see I'm instantly swapping. And in the back's a Cresselia. So Shiftry, Cresselia in the 0 shield. This is going to be reliant upon whether our Shiftry can survive a Moonblast. Moonblast coming through. Can Shadow Shiftry survive? Gets us super low. 1 HP in a dream, and we get to this next foul play. Either way, we did have a Body Slam save on a Snorlax as well, but that's GG's to the opponent. So that was 2 4 and 1 sets. I did have a 1 4 and a 2 3 in my first 2 sets, as this team was really tricky and it did take a lot of time to get used to. Is this team something I'd recommend? Not really, as both Swampert and Shiftry demand shields. However, Shadow Shiftry itself I do think is a great pick. Obviously, if you're not running all Shadows, it can probably be in a better team comp. So I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and if you are someone who is not subscribed and you stopped by the channel and you like the content, I'd appreciate it if you did subscribe to help the channel grow. And also if you've got any recommendations, any Shadows you'd like to see in action, I'll try my best to feature them on the channel. Thanks for watching, see you all in the